Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Thanks everyone for joining us today. My name is Tim Bagonis. I'm CMO here at D-Tools, and with me today is Adam Holden, who's in charge of D-Tools Payments. And we're really excited to bring this webinar to you about what's new in D-Tools Payments. So if you participated in a webinar with us before, thank you very much. It's very simple. We will present to you. You have a viewing area, a dashboard on your right. We do have a questions box that we use for questions throughout the presentation. Do let us know if you have any trouble seeing or hearing the presentation. If you need more viewing room, you can click the arrow and collapse your control panel. Okay, a bit about what we'll cover today. We'll talk a little bit about D-Tools Cloud. We will do an overview of our new D-Tools Payments capabilities. Adam will go over what's new in D-Tools Payments. We'll do a demonstration of D-Tools Payments and what's new. We will be recording this session and it will be sent to everyone following the presentation. Okay, a bit about D-Tools Cloud. D-Tools Cloud is our web-based software as a service solution. It is an end-to-end solution designed to cover all the major areas of an integrator's business, from sales, system design, project management, service, and back office. It is an easy-to-use multi-OS platform. It has really been designed to help get you and your team up and running quickly. It enables you to manage all of your sales opportunities, create very compelling quotes, multimedia proposals, track everything in that sales process from proposal to accepted contract, and then follow up that post-sale process with procurement, detailed project management tools, be able to schedule out the job, handle change orders, create service plans and service contracts, manage those service calls, and of course, everything in the back office to help you understand your business. We integrate with accounting systems. We have in-app chat. We have very complete tools to help you and your team take projects from beginning through installation to ongoing service. We have now over 3,000 companies who use us and growing every day. And we're really excited to share with you D-Tools Payments, what's new. And I'm going to turn it over to Adam Holden, and he's going to talk about D-Tools Payments.
Thank you so much, Tim. Really appreciate it. I'm very excited to be able to share this, with the customers. So D-Tools Payments, it's our fully embedded payment solution. So what does that mean for you? That means everything is fully embedded, integrated into D-Tools Cloud to ensure that you have that end-to-end process covered in one ecosystem. All right, so everything from onboarding to underwriting to your reports, being able to track your payments from end to end, everything is now built in instead of just using a third-party integration partner, to where you may have a third-party portal, gateways to log into. Again, really pulling everything into one place, making sure that everything is as efficient as possible. And at the end of the day, saving you time, saving you money, saving you frustration by having everything in one platform. Now, when it comes to cash flow, again, with the benefits of having everything in one place and controlled by D-Tools, we're able to offer more efficient ACH processing, credit card processing, and really using the tools inside of D-Tools to make sure that we're reducing any sort of redundancies, manual processes going in between multiple systems, ensuring accuracy, time management, making sure we're automating processes for you, all in one place without ever having to leave the ecosystem of D-Tools. Now, when it comes to that, we're going to be able to provide all of the notifications directly inside of the platform, making sure that you're not receiving notifications from any sort of third parties, maybe like a Stripe or anything else like that. Everything's going to be familiar to you. Everything's accessible directly through your DTools cloud account. So anything that you may need when it comes to issues, being able to contact, support using our internal systems like our help desks, and making sure that, with these alerts and notifications that we're providing actual, resolutions that you're going to be able to do in here, ensuring that you're not going to miss any sort of, let's say, important notifications like failed ACH transactions or failed credit card transactions, or, God forbid, a chargeback or a dispute notification. We're going to ensure that, you're getting everything via email, via the notification center, and making sure that you're able to go directly to that issue that has been brought up to make sure that it's rectified as fast as possible. Along with the notifications, we're going to have also payment notifications, deposit notifications. This way, you're going to be able to track and know where your money is at any given point during the day or during that process, to ensure that, you're focusing on the business and not wondering, where your customers' payments are going to live. Now, when it comes to security, we treat, payment security, we treat the cloud security, just making sure that everything is going to be as secure as possible. We're all PCI DSS compliant within the payment industry. That's very important when it comes to protecting client card data, your information, ensuring that everything is kept under lock and key just in case something were to happen. So we just wanted to make sure that that everything is secure, end-to-end encryption using tokenization when it comes to running credit cards, saving credit card bank accounts on file. All of that is going to be secured, kept safe for you. And the most important thing is none of that's ever kept on your system. So there's no, worrying on your behalf that, someone may be able to get into your system and take that information. Now, if you joined us a couple of months ago when we did release DTools payments for the first time, we had a great showing. And this time around, we're going to be, touching on some of the things that we touched on when we first released it. But we really want to focus on, what's new, what's on the roadmap, to continue that development, to make sure that we're bringing you all of the tools to make you as successful as possible. So since the last time that we have met, we have added some more robust features, one of those being the automated recurring payments. So this is definitely going to help with your service contracts, your monitoring contracts, and we're going to be able to help you automate the payment collection in the background to create that monthly recurring or quarterly recurring revenue, while you focus on the business, doing what you need to do, and we'll be in the background collecting, that money from those monitoring contracts and the other contracts that we have available. Also, the automated QuickBooks invoicing. So what we've done is we've made an enhancement to the QuickBooks integration. So when you do fire up a payment request, it will automatically be able to create a corresponding invoice inside of QuickBooks for you. This way, when that payment request is paid through DTools using DTools payments, it's going to come in, it's going to mark itself as paid. The payment's going to be logged in all the appropriate places. And then that corresponding invoice is going to be marked as paid as well inside of QuickBooks, making sure that you're not spending too much time in between different systems. And again, focusing on what really matters, your clients, your business, making money, and not switching in between those two systems. And then coming down into the transaction fees, making reconciliation a little bit easier than having to do it manually. We are syncing those transaction fees upon settlement into QuickBooks for you. So when you do receive that deposit into your bank account, you can reconcile it a whole lot easier rather than having to download reports from different systems, working in between them, reconciling all of that. We're just, really focused on making it easier for you to be able to do that. And then the other piece here that's going to be new is the payment request terms. So every time that you do send out that payment request, you're going to be able to choose the terms on which you're going to get paid. whether that is on, a 30-day, a 15-day due upon receipt. And then we also have the custom ability to be able to add those in there for you as well. So all the new things are here to help with the efficiency, help you collect money, on a recurring basis, helping you reconcile, and again, really taking those things away of worrying and bringing you back into the business and focusing on what's important. And then what we have coming up, within the next few quarters, on our roadmap, to bring more functionality into D-Tools payments. So we're going to be working on and producing invoicing directly with D-Tools. So, when you want those line by line invoices, making sure that we're breaking out, labor and equipment, so on and so forth. That way we can match the way, multiple individuals or multiple customers are doing business. One of the really big ones that I'm super excited about, I know a lot of other customers that I've talked to are very excited about it, is going to be able to add transaction fees or being able to pass along those credit card acceptance fees onto the clients. This is going to help you, offset some of those payment costs, making sure that, we're saving some money there, being able to put that back into the business and ensuring that you're going to get paid as quickly as possible, right? When we're turning off credit card and only issuing ACH, that can take some time to be able to settle and get over to you. Maybe some customers do want to pay by credit card, but obviously it's a hindrance if we have to pay fees. So, again, we're really focused on getting you paid as quickly as possible. So, being able to pass on those credit card fees, we'll be able to open up that option for you to be able to get paid quicker. Another one we're working on is going to be invoicing multiple payment terms at once. So this is definitely something that we've heard, we've listened to it. We're working on being able to bring this out to the customer base. This is going to be allowing you to, basically invoice for, a payment term, a change order, maybe another term that you have to pay for that the customer didn't pay yet. So that way you don't have to send out multiple payment requests. You can send it all out in one, get it paid, and get moving. We're doing a little bit of a redesign to the client billing page to bring it in more of, being able to track the payments, track the invoices, outstanding balances, all of that, on basically that page for you. Being able to invoice in PDF download. So basically, being able to download those invoices, send them out, do things like that, especially when it comes to sending them to maybe corporate customers that want to be able to see that, rather than just making a payment on a payment request. Be able to add attachments and notes. That would be client-facing notes as well as internal-facing notes. And then also the change orders. We worked on the paid status to ensure that that's syncing properly and not changing back once we do make that as a paid status. And we have plenty of more coming down, which we'll review some of those things after we go through a little bit of a short demo of where D-Tools Payments lives and how it's going to be able to help you in the cloud environment. So what I'll do is I'm just going to change over my screen here of D-Tools Payments, working top down, working in the opportunities where that's going to be able to help you speed up the process of collecting that deposit when you do send out that proposal. Looking into project management, so looking at the progress payments as we go through to the finalization of the project. Into service, where the automatic payments are going to live. And then we'll look at some of the reporting and things like that as we get towards the end. So here in the opportunities, this is one place that we're definitely going to see D-Tools Payments help with efficiency. So one of that is going to be on sending out the proposal for signature and acceptance. And what I'll do is I'll present this as if I'm the client. We have this beautiful quote proposal that's been built. We have everything on here. We have the locations, the equipment, we have the labor, summary, payment terms, everything that we've built into the system. And what we're going to do, we'll go ahead and we will accept this as the client. And where it normally would stop, accepting and signing it, then you would have to figure out, okay, am I going to send another link? Am I going to send something out through QuickBooks? Maybe I'm going to send it out through another payment system. As we can see here, as I was describing that, we're quickly brought directly to the payment screen to be able to collect that first payment, that deposit, and again, really adding the efficiency for the client to be able to accept it, sign it, and immediately make that payment, getting you paid quicker, getting the job started quicker, and that way, again, everything runs as efficiently as possible. Once you do have this, you'll get an email letting you know that you've got the proposal accepted, and then you'll also get a second email letting you know that you've successfully collected that first payment. Now that we've collected that first payment and we're going to be working it as a project now, I'm going to go over one of my projects, go into the project overview dashboard here, go into the view payments, and now here, this is where our payment terms that we've built out, prior, to sending anything out through the system. And this is where we're going to be able to manage the payments moving forward as we progress through the project all the way until completion. And as we can see here, we collected that deposit. Now we're off, we're rocking and rolling, we're going, and now we're going to send out that next payment request. It's as simple as clicking on the little three dots, firing up the new payment request. And as we can see here, as part of the automation we have for QuickBooks Online, this is kind of like what I was describing earlier. This checkbox is automatically checked, which means that a corresponding invoice is going to be created once we create and send this payment request. So what we'll do is we'll come down here. We can see that we have both the options for ACH and credit card directly on the payment request itself. We'll go into create it. We'll go ahead and send it to the client. Client will open it through email. And we can see here that we have our payment schedule. We know that we've already paid our deposit. We know that we have this payment coming up right here. And we'll just go ahead, make that payment. Super easy. Once the payment's made, we're going to receive an email letting us know that this payment has been successfully paid. And then the client will also receive a notification that they have successfully made that payment. And as we come back through here, we can see that the payment was made. It was automatically marked off as paid inside of DTools. And now that corresponding invoice that was made through the automation in QuickBooks, that's also going to be marked off as paid. So you don't have to go in between the two systems. This has now done that for you. And if we want to check on things, we can click directly on the payment request itself. We can see that the payment is logged directly on the payment request. And if we come up here to the total and click that, a little nice window pops out, and we can see more information about the payment, like the billing fee or the net to the net that you would receive into your bank account from this particular payment. And then all of the data that we're sending and receiving with this payment, because everything is handled internally with DTools, we're ensuring that we're marketing in the proper places, like under the proper client, under the proper project, for the proper term. And then this is actually what we're going to use to build out the reporting that I'm going to show you a little bit as we get down there. Now, when it comes to service, we can use DTools payments to be able to collect payment on service calls. Once they're closed out, we can send that out. But where DTools payments is really going to bring the efficiency is going to be when we're collecting it on a monthly, quarterly, annual basis on a contract, like such a service contract or a monitoring contract, and really being able to automate this. So again, you can focus on the business, and this can be collected in the background for you. So this one here, we have a monitoring agreement. We have a billing frequency of monthly, a length of 24 months or 2 years. And what we're going to do is we're going to come into the payment section here. And when we turn on the automated requests, what it's going to do is it's going to build out a full payment schedule, as we can all see right here. And it's going to build it out all the way to the end of that term. And for this one, again, it was monthly. So we can see that this is built out a monthly payment all the way out until the end. And when we do send out this first payment request, it's going to ask the client to put a credit card or bank account on file. And when they do so, it is going to save that. It's going to enroll them in AutoPay, and it's going to now charge that amount on the same date moving forward automatically. That way, again, you can focus on the business. We don't have to start chasing people down for missed contract payments. People aren't going to have to, feel bad that they missed those payments. And again, it's just adding to that efficiency and making sure that we're really focusing on the things that matter. And then coming down into the billing and report section here. So the billing page, we're going to be able to get a high level global view of every payment request that's either sent out, not requested, has been requested, that's due or past due. Here, if it looks like this, we may have to have a different conversation. But what we can do is we're able to filter out, drill down into these. Let's say that we want to focus on a particular client, a particular project. We're able to use these second set of filters to get more granular, to ensure that we're filtering out anything that you don't want to see and only focusing on what matters. Another cool piece about this is that you can actually fire up payment requests directly out of here rather having to go back to the project or the service. And then along with DTools payments, we're going to receive these two pieces of information on the billing page, one of those being the transactions. This will always show you the last transaction, the amount, the date, the time that it was accepted. And then we'll also be able to see the last deposit with the amount and the date that we received it into our bank account. When we go even deeper into these with these view alls, that's actually going to bring us into the transaction and payment report. So as we touched on a little bit earlier, all of that information that we're sending and receiving with the payment internally, we're using that to build out this transaction and payment report for you. So it's much more than just a transaction report. We have the project, we have the call, contract, change order it's associated to, the term the payment was associated to, the client it's housed under, who paid it, date and the time, the amount, all the pertinent information that you would need to be able to see right away. You're able to see it directly on this report. And in a live environment, you're also going to get the status of whether that payment was declined, whether it was approved, as well as deposited. And again, we're going to be able to go into the transaction, be able to dive a little bit deeper, looking at the billing fee, the net that we would expect to see from this transaction, all in one place. And I know I said this before a little bit earlier, but these are normally the things that you would have to go outside of DTools for. You would have to go into another portal, into another gateway, pull it down. It wouldn't have all of this pertinent information on it. You would have to spend time reconciling systems, sometimes 2-3 different systems. So now we're pulling all of this in, making it super efficient, super easy for you to be able to do that all in one place. And then when it comes to deposits, we're going to be able to help you track your deposits. So your deposit reports, or batch reports, as we call them outside in the industry, we're also bringing all of those in here as well. I do have a screenshot of my deposits, considering that this is a staging account. It's not real. I just want to quickly just move over to that real quick. So here with the deposit report, these deposit records are going to be created between 10:35 and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're going to be created with a status of processing to start with. That simply means the money is on its way to the bank. The status is automatically going to be updated to succeeded, which means that the bank has taken ownership of those funds and you will be receiving that money into your bank account by the end of that business day. Now, having the deposit report is great. We know that we have some money. It's going to be accompanied by an email that goes out to you, letting you know that you have money on the way, with the total amount, with the deposit ID, all the pertinent information. And, that's great. But what is that deposit made of? So what we're able to do is we're able to dig deeper into the deposit, double clicking on the deposit record, and then it's going to bring up the deposit detail. Now, this information is going to contain all of the payments that are in that deposit, the customers, how they paid you, the total amount of the payment, the fees associated with each payment, and then the net, which is going to equal the total that's being deposited into your bank account. Now, with the automation that we have made to QuickBooks, this is the information that we are sending over to QuickBooks upon settlement. Settlement happens at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's going to be sent over to QuickBooks to make reconciliation that much easier for you, rather than having to go in between systems and pull out fees and things like that. And again, all of these reports are exportable to CSV. So if you need to share them with your accountants, with your bookkeepers, if they don't have access to DTools, you can do that as well. There's DTools payments here. We have our own settings. This is where your fees are going to be posted very transparently. You have the ability to choose what type of payment methods on a global level are going to be offered. When it comes to automatic payment collection, instead of having to go through all of your contracts to see who's on auto pay, who's not, we give you the ability to manage and pull all of those contracts into one place, giving you the contract name, giving you the client name, the amount of that billing, the next payment date, and then the method that they have on file, whether that be bank account or credit card. You can also go directly to the contract or the client directly from here, or if need be, you can also unenroll the client from AutoPay as well. A couple of the really neat things with the notifications, you can add anybody that you need to receive notifications. This may look familiar from the top of projects, things like that. So you can simply add individuals in here. And these notifications are going to include deposit, so money coming to your bank account as a deposit, failed ACH and credit card transactions, as well as chargeback or dispute notifications. And as I stated earlier, these are going to be sent out by email, as well as show up in the notification center. So if something does happen to that email, maybe the email's missed, maybe it's lost, as long as you're signing into DTools, you're going to get that pertinent information, and you're going to be able to go directly to that record without having to search for it. And then we also provide some email templates for you to be able to customize. So payment request email templates, the payment received email templates, and you can even use our merge fields to be able to customize this even further to ensure that you can have one email that you can send out to multiple individuals that's going to match with the payments and with who owns the with who owns the project or anything else like that. And then the auto pay reminder. This one to me is the most important. What it's going to do is it's going to send out a notification to your client letting you know that they have a payment coming up, but also it's going to allow them to update the bank account or credit card on file. This makes sure that the liability is kept on the credit card holder or the bank account holder, and you don't have to take credit card numbers or bank account numbers over the phone, ensuring y'all are kept safe and the client is the only one handling that sensitive information. And then just coming over to the coming soon, just wanted to outline some of these things, especially the ones that we've talked about a little bit earlier in the webinar. So being able to offset those costs for credit card acceptance, so that we have here for the convenience fees. That is one way that we are passing along those fees. We'll have other options coming out a little bit down the road. Working with the invoicing, multiple terms, at once, being able to make sure that we're billing, not only for one payment request, we can do, multiple on one. We have the update to the client billing page. We're going to be able to have the invoice as a PDF download, as we touched on a little bit earlier. These would be the invoice attachments and notes that we touched on for internal facing and client facing. Linking the QuickBooks Online invoice to estimates. So this was the one that we actually didn't have on the slide, but this one's really cool. So when it is passed over to QuickBooks, it's going to make sure that it's matching it up to the proper project, ensuring everything is being done efficiently and tracked efficiently in between the two systems. And then, touching on the change order paid status, which we touched on a little bit earlier. And then these few that we have here. So these are really, really neat updates that we have coming to the system. And these are going to be more features to make sure that y'all are getting the most out of D-Tools payments. One of them being chargeback management. So we're going to be building in a chargeback management portal. That way, you know immediately if there is a chargeback, what the status of that chargeback is, what the reason for the chargeback was, and you're going to have the ability to upload your documents, ensuring that they're being delivered to the proper areas, and that chargeback will be fought for you on your behalf. Couple other really neat features is the automatic card updater. So this is going to work with the automated payments or the auto pay that we have on the contracts. It's simply going to make sure that if you do have any credit cards on file or bank accounts on file that need to be updated, maybe due to fraud, maybe due to coming out of date, a new card was issued, this will actually speak to the financial institutions and update those methods on file to ensure that you're going to be processing without any sort of interruption. And then also 3DS or 3D Secure. This is a new feature that's been kind of sweeping out throughout the industry. What this is going to do is it's going to add an extra layer of verification for credit card payments to ensure that we're doing everything possible to mitigate any chargebacks or disputes. Simply, it makes sure that the person that's entering the card is the card holder. It simply gives them a code to enter directly on their phone into their app, and it approves it right away. And again, it's going to mitigate any sort of chargebacks or disputes from the card holder to you. One other thing that I just want to show on, I didn't want to show this right away because I didn't know if it was going to pop up immediately, but I just wanted to touch on some of the QuickBooks Online enhancements that we had. So if you already have QuickBooks Online integrated with D-Tools, when you do get approved and activated for D-Tools payments, in this invoice section right here, this is where that automation lives that we were touching on a little bit earlier. So this is where we have the control of turning on the invoice creation. So that would be creating the corresponding invoice inside of QuickBooks for you, as well as the transaction fee automation. So that would be syncing the transaction fees over to QuickBooks for easier reconciliation. And then we also give more advanced mapping options when it comes to mapping the project payment or the service contract payment over to QuickBooks. And then also making sure that we're linking the proper accounts inside of QuickBooks for your accounts receivable, for the account that we would be putting the expenses on, like the credit card processing fees or ACH processing fees, and then ensuring that everything's landing in the proper deposit account for you. So those are all of the updates. It's a little quick demo of D-Tools payments, how we'll be able to help you, track and get payments more efficiently, and everything that we have coming up, down the road to make it even better for you.
I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We know your time is important, so we really appreciate it. Please be sure to come visit us at www.d-tools.com for more information.